Good morning. Oh my God. Welcome. Welcome to Ignite Day 2. What a be here with humans. It's been a while since I've been on stage with people in an audience. Very cool. Nice to see all of you. It's a big, big day. It is amazing to be here. I love watching just the screen. India, Westminster, I saw Canada, Illinois. Welcome everybody from around the world. I can feel the energy, just people gathering in a room, talking, connecting today. Day 2 of Ignite. I think day 1 was incredible. It was an incredible day. Now today, we're excited really to be talking to you about Windows and how it empowers each of our organizations. Now, as product makers, we're inspired. We truly are inspired by you, by the people using the products, needing, wanting, asking for the products and every detail you need. We're constantly looking at how we can make every day easier for you and your organizations. Now, with Windows 11, you get both the security and the simplicity you need to manage and support your distributed workforce. That's another word that I'm using with the team. We say hybrid a lot, but that distributed workforce is here. That hybrid world is here. And we do it all while delivering really an incredible employee experience that's both productive, collaborative, and I think most important right now, inclusive. And it's all possible. It's all possible through the power of the Microsoft Cloud. You heard a lot about that yesterday, giving you all those benefits with less effort and, of course, probably most importantly, more value. You heard from Satya yesterday. We designed Windows 11 to evolve to the way you work today. But we also designed it to work in ways that you need for the future. In this session, the team and I, we're going to show you how Windows 11 lights up with Microsoft 365 and also on new PCs. Just a few weeks ago, we launched our first major update to Windows 11, and a lot of it was for this audience here. And just yesterday, we introduced new Surface devices. I'm pumped because both landed with incredible fanfare. There's a lot of energy. People want to use these devices. They want to use the new Windows 11. I'm excited about it. We launched Surface Pro 9, Surface Laptop 5, Surface Studio 2 Plus, some new and maybe very near and dear to my heart adaptive accessories so everybody can use these products seamlessly together. There was also a presenter. It's very cool, by the way. If you're using Microsoft Teams, the presenter, here's what's cool about that. When you take the presenter out, you can mute when you're in a meeting. So this distributed world, I find myself in these meetings, and we're all sitting around, and there's individuals on the screen. We're all connected. But every now and then, you want to talk to your colleague next to you. How does that work? How does that distributed moment work? Just hit the mute button, have the moment, and unmute it. It's pretty damn cool, I got to tell you. Now together, Surface and Windows create a seamless, integrated experience. It empowers teams to connect, produce, and ultimately do their best work. And we're going to continue to integrate our services with Windows to make your employees, our employees, more productive, more secure, and maybe most importantly right now, more connected. And we're going to dive deeper into each one of these things in just a minute, and later on we're going to spend time on one of my favorite developments. I'm super excited to share our advancements in AI, both on the edge and in the cloud, and how they come together, adding new capabilities to your existing Windows 11 PC. It's something you're going to have to see and maybe hear to really believe. We're going to have a little bit of fun. Stevie will be out here. You're not going to want to miss it. It'll be a blast. Okay, but why am I here today? I'm really here to introduce you to the product makers of the products that you want to use. I want you to hear from them directly, how they think about it, what they do, how they build it. Products are a reflection, and I say this often, they're a reflection of two things. Your Surface right there is a reflection of you using it and the person building it. Like what we put into these products is what the world takes out of them. It's quite a powerful concept, so understanding who those people are matters. Let me welcome, please, Scott, David, and Ramya from the Windows team up here to talk to you. That's super cool. It's amazing to be with you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here at Ignite. Now let's talk about our approach to product making a little bit. I think everybody would want to hear some of those details. Scott, I'm going to start with you. Scott is directly responsible for Windows 365. It's got some pretty cool momentum right now. It's a product that launched just last year. It's introduced, if you will, a new category of end user computing. We call it the cloud PC. Yeah, it's a bit of a loaded term, but I will tell you it matters. It's making a massive difference for companies that are using it. Scott, tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, well, I was very fortunate that I found my passion early in my career at Microsoft in virtualization, and I've had a great opportunity to work with some of the best and brightest here at Microsoft to deliver Azure Virtual Desktop.
Another great product.
Yeah, about 3 years ago, at a time when customers really needed it most, responding to the pandemic. And then most recently, Windows 365, and as you pointed out, Windows 365 introduces a whole new class of computing we call Cloud PC, and that's a pretty bold statement for us to make. And as we kind of talk through some of the new experiences this delivers today, I hope you'll agree with us. It really defines an entire new end user experience with virtualization that is more consistent with the way end users work on a physical device. And from an endpoint admin perspective, we're bringing together cloud PCs and physical devices inside of Intune where you can manage them in a consistent way.
Right, right. And Ramya, welcome. I imagine you work closely with Scott on all this. Why don't you tell us a little bit how it all comes together?
Yeah, certainly, and we did. We worked very closely with Scott's team on this, and our goal with Intune has always been to build this most comprehensive, cloud-connected, unified endpoint management solution, and we are by far the largest provider in the world. Now, making sure cloud PCs work the same way as regular PCs when it comes to critical functions like applying images, applications, security baselines, was an intentional product design right from the start.
Now, it's so important. I mean, it's critical. Now, when I think about Windows, Intune coming together, how they help build a more secure, you know where I'm going, and flexible experience from client to cloud. And you hear that a lot, and it's real. That's intentional design between teams. It allows us to provide the most streamlined and complete solution for our customers.
Exactly. And Intune makes adopting, supporting, and securing Windows 11 on Windows 365 cloud PCs or physical devices super consistent and simple. Now, since the pandemic started, we've seen a huge shift towards cloud management. Now, things like zero-touch provisioning with Autopilot, automatic updates, and enabling security and zero trust for hybrid work became so critical for our customers.
So, first off, Ramya, your team has built some amazingly intelligent services within Intune. I think folks here would really want to hear, how do you leverage that? And it's an important topic right now, that combination of data connected to AI, creating these new features, and just the depth of that would be great to hear.
Let's take an example, Panos.
Yeah, it's the best way.
Endpoint analytics. It uses these machine learning models to proactively alert IT to anomalies. And we surface anomalies based on their severity, starting with those that impact end-user productivity the most. Now let's take application regressions. We detect those on your Windows devices, and then we harness the power of trillions of signals that we get from the Microsoft Cloud to mitigate the critical problems for end users. Now, the first part was the proactive detection. And then there's the contextual AI-driven remediation to ensure a performative Windows experience for end users. Now, personally, I find this super impactful. Look, I'm an engineer. I come from a family of engineers. Both my parents are engineers. So for me, these data-driven insights and actionable insights, I find this super fascinating and empowering. And I really believe we, as Windows and Intune and Microsoft, we are best positioned to do this.
Yep. Now, thank you, Ramya. I know, I love what you said. We also know security is top of mind for every single person out here, for sure. For our customers, and it's a top priority for me, yourself, David, for all of us. And then for those of you who know, like, we continue to build security directly into Windows, and we do it in so many different ways. That threat landscape right now for all of us is always evolving. It's never been, more threatening, and it is our job to stay ahead of it. I'm here with David, David, I call Dwizzle. I only call him Dwizzle because that's what it says on his team's tag name, so I don't know why, but I think it's funny, so I call him Dwizzle. But I've also heard you referred to as our hacker-in-chief at Microsoft. So David, how do you get a title like that? You want to just give us some frame?
Well, my entire life, basically, I've been involved in security. It actually started with a little movie back in the 80s, if you can remember, called War Games. It's about a kid who almost causes the end of the world and then saves the world by hacking. And I said, all right, that's my calling. That's what I'm
Wait, which part? You want the end of the world or the
That's
saving
right.
the world?
That's right. So I joined Microsoft to do penetration testing, very similar work. And since then, I've had almost every job in security at Microsoft. But my favorite by far has been working here on Windows and for our billion users, doing the best job we can every day to keep them secure.
It's awesome. I love your passion for it. I also loved War Games.
Yep.
I think it made data, so I'm not sure if any of you remember the movie War Games. It was pretty good. If you try and watch it again now, it's not as good as it used to be. Now, security's always been a priority, but there's more urgency right now, right, David? In recent years, cyber threats evolve, people working remotely. We just went through this, living through the pandemic, just remote work. It's introducing new attack vectors.
Sure.
It's real. Tell us more.
Yeah, there's really two, security is a dynamic space, but there's been really two developments that have made it maybe more challenging than ever, but we also have more tools than ever. The first challenge is, look, the threat landscape is becoming more sophisticated. You can take a look at the news. You have nation states, you have cyber criminals, you have big money on the line, right, for these criminals. And so they're getting better at what they do. We're also getting better at what we do. But the hybrid work and the pandemic changed things a little bit. You moved out of these physical spaces. We had certain tools and equipment. Now you've got the device. Someone might be on the beach somewhere. Someone's a different place in the world. You've got to change the way you work. And that's why zero trust has become so important. And it's a big part of Windows 11.
Yeah, and it's not just about software-based protection. I mean, just exactly as the environment changes. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, that's right. So Windows 11 has quite a few layers of security. It starts with amazing hardware. We've got great OEMs and silicon partners who are giving us features there, and then we take the best advantage of it in Windows 11, and then we provide signals from that to the cloud, and that forms the basis for zero trust.
Okay, I want to come back to hardware-based security. This is an important topic. We'll come back to that in a minute, and no doubt. First, let's go back to that idea that security be consistent, whether you're running locally, like you just talked about, or Scott, your passion, running Windows in the cloud.
Yeah, security is one of the fundamental reasons people turn to virtualization. And with Windows 365, we support a zero trust and zero touch deployment model. In fact, it's kind of the epitome of zero touch. You can provision, cloud resources and allow a user to log in with whatever device they might have. And of course, we wanted to ensure that we had day one support for Windows 11 and exposed all that great new security work as well. So with Windows 365, you get all that virtualization-based security support, zero trust, secure boot, VTPM 2.0. And we worked with Ramya's team to make sure that you can deploy both cloud PCs and physical devices using common methods inside of Intune.
That's right. And you apply the same security baseline, same policies in Intune, both with the physical Windows 11 PCs and cloud PCs, which makes it really easy for IT to keep everything secure and keeps it simple, really. Now, for us, as long as I've worked at Microsoft, both in Config Manager and in Intune, I've heard time and again from customers about their end users running with full admin privileges and the risks that go with it. Over time, those risks have only increased, and we've heard about the sophistication of attacks, security attacks in today's landscape. Now, David and my teams work together to build a feature called Endpoint Privilege Management, where we give IT the control to define what can elevate and when. And with Windows, we leverage the built-in technology in the OS, so security is baked into the OS and it's not merely bolted on. And IT, through Intune, can then configure and enable those controls.
Makes sense. Now, you brought a few demos with you. Maybe we can show folks exactly what you're talking about.
Let's take a look. I think it's much easier through a demo. Now here we have an end user who's running as a standard user, and they're getting all the security benefits of running as one. Now let's say they want to install an application. Now they are blocked because they're running as standard user. Now, typically, here is where they would have to involve their IT, and that, of course, involves cost. It incurs cost. However, because they're using Endpoint Privilege Management, IT has configured this installer such that it can auto-elevate. and the end user just needs to provide a business justification. That's what they do. They request elevated access, and then they provide a business justification, and the installer just go ahead and completes installation. You see how the standard user was able to self-service without needing to contact their help desk. Now this is installing applications. IT admin can auto-approve common tasks like adding printers, printer drivers, all with the user running as standard users. Now, in addition to this, we have a lot more such capabilities in our new suite of advanced solutions with a goal to simplify IT and lower the TCO.
Awesome. Awesome. Just such a simple demo to understand. I truly love how we're using Intune, Windows together to not only make our customers more secure, but to make IT's job easier, do more with less, and I think what we're all thinking about right now is managing our costs. Okay, we're going to come back to this. The devices we announced yesterday, they're a lot of fun. If you haven't seen it, go watch that launch event. The products are beautiful, they're fast, they're amazing to use. I'm using one right here. I'm using the Pro 9, the blue. They're also highly secure. I see you have a Pro 9 5G with you, which is rad. Okay, David, back to you with hardware-based security. It's not just software, right? It's the perfect integration, like removing that seam between the hardware and software that we all kind of need to move towards when it comes to Windows. We've been working on this a lot together.
Absolutely, and we made it super simple. You get what's called a Secure Core PC that has the best hardware profile. You put that on Windows 11, you've got the best security, you're ahead of threats.
And all our major OEMs have Secure Core PCs, right?
Absolutely, you can get Secure Core PCs that are inspired by Xbox and the innovations we built there. So from the story of Xbox, we learned a lot of different capabilities that were there for things like anti-cheat. So Xbox isn't just about gaming, it's about cool stuff. And we're able to take those technologies, integrate them into what we call Secure Core PCs, working with partners like HP, Dell, Lenovo, and folks like Intel to build those innovations from Xbox into PCs and give you the best possible security that fuses hardware and software.
Okay, you've talked about out-of-the-box security quite a bit. It's right there out of the box. Give an example of that next level protection against evolving threats.
Yeah, so there's quite a few things that are built into Windows. We've got things like firmware protection, credential protection. We also recently announced the Pluton processor that's here in this beautiful device from Lenovo that can protect your credentials. So you have numerous different protections that are available. This is a lot different than 15 years ago when you just had something like BitLocker. This can, get lost on a train somewhere and your data is secure.
Got it. And so that's why we need to keep evolving right now, right? Like that's what it comes down to. Focus on layers from chip all the way to the cloud with protection with Windows 11.
Absolutely.
Very cool. All right, give me one more example, would you?
Absolutely. This is one of my absolute favorite features of Windows 11. It stops a little threat you might have heard about called phishing. So this is our feature called Microsoft Defender Smart Screen with enhanced phishing protection. So let me set up a scenario. I'm talking about an upcoming trip I've got on Twitter. I would never do that, but I'm talking about an upcoming trip. Someone wants to hack me, and they're like, you know how to get Dave? I'm gonna follow his Twitter, and I'm gonna send him a fake travel update because I know he's traveling somewhere. Great. So of course I click on the link. I click on any link that comes into my email box, and it takes me to this familiar sign-in page. It looks like Microsoft developed it, but really someone put this together to look like an official Microsoft sign-in page. So I type in my email address here, and I click next. And now's the moment of truth. Do I type into my password here? Yes, I do, because everything looks great. Traditional phishing protections did things like try to predict if a page was going to be a phishing page or not. That's very difficult to do in the world of AI, where attackers can use cloud automation. So now I've typed in my password here. Immediately, Windows is so smart, Windows 11 is so smart, it knows I've typed my specific password into a site where that password should never go. So I've typed in my corp creds or my personal creds into a brand new random site. Right away, Windows 11's got my back. It says, you've typed that password into the wrong spot. It prompts me to change my password. It also lets IT know I made a bad move here, so IT can do what they have to do. And this is a great, great feature because we are moving to a world which we call passwordless. We're just not gonna have a password to get phished with, but until then, there's gonna be a few sites out there that you still gotta use credentials on, a few apps, And we've got an awesome technology in Windows 11 that has your back while you're making that passwordless.
And you're seeing it right now. You're seeing that impact already?
Absolutely.
Love it, love it. All right, it's so powerful when we can take our learnings and development from across the company and apply them through to our different products, and it's something we do pretty good. We then take those solutions, they work really, really well together, and make it as easy as possible for our customers. I think about AutoPatch when I'm
Exactly, and that's exactly the intent behind things like Windows AutoPatch. And it's an automated service that's built on top of Intune with an intent to stay current with updates and patches for things like Windows and Office, Teams, Edge, and it really improves your security posture by not skipping those key updates.
Yeah, and AutoPatch is another great example where we work together to ensure that AutoPatch can be equally applied to both cloud PCs and physical PCs, making it a lot easier for customers to leverage that technology.
And that simplicity you've been working on quite a bit with Windows 365, right, Scott?
Yeah, that really is what now makes desktop virtualization accessible to any organization, from our smallest organizations to our largest organizations. Bringing simplicity means that now these organizations can take advantage of all the benefits that come from desktop virtualization and cloud PC, like supporting the hybrid work environment we're all living in, seasonal employees that are coming and going all the time, or you've got a whole bunch of interns starting up and you want to spin up a bunch of resources to meet their needs. It's about providing those tools to make leverage the scalability of the cloud.
Right. When you say scalability, you really do mean deploying cloud PCs quickly to entire groups within an org, right?
Yeah, when we think about scalability with Windows 365, we think of it in actually two dimensions.
Right.
That primary dimension of being able to stand up additional, cloud PC instances as, the needs of your organization change, like that seasonal employees or interns and such. But also in another dimension, in terms of any one user, now that their compute resources are elastic, if a user or a group of users need a larger, size machine, for instance, your accounting department got some new software, and now everybody in the accounting department needs more RAM, more compute, more storage. I can instantly resize all those users up or down, and those users simply log off, log back on, and they have the additional resources they need to be productive. But scalability is super important for the IT admins, but it's also important that we provide a great end user experience, right? To really make something transformational, you got to both empower endpoint admins to be productive, and you have to empower end users as well. And I'd like to show you one of the new end user experiences that we announced just yesterday, which is the new Windows 365 app.
Very cool. Get into it.
Now, this app is available for download today
By the way,
on Windows 11.
This is a cool app.
Yeah, just looking at it, it's just
a beautiful
very
app,
beautiful
yeah.
app that meets the kind of the design elements that an average user can just get behind this and be productive. And the cool thing is there's no IT admin setup. This app's available as a download now, but will be later built directly into Windows 11. And I want to highlight what my marketing team loves to call the 4 R's, which are these great tools that empower end users to have that same consistent experience with their virtual cloud PC they do with the physical device. I can restart this device, so I'm going to just show you here. Clicking on the ellipsis, I expose these commands. I can restart my PC. Now, this seems like an obvious feature, but those of you that have used virtualization before will know that that's usually not something you can expose to an end user in a virtualized environment. It's a unique capability of Windows 365. If my machine gets into a bad state, I can reset it back to its original state. One of the other new features we announced here at Ignite is this ability to restore back to a previous point in time. And you can see here that I have 14 restore points, 4 rolling weeks, and then 10 additional backups that I can configure the restore point objective to be anywhere from 4 to 24 hours. So immediately, as soon as you provision a cloud PC, we immediately start taking these backups. And one last item I'll touch real quick on, another really great innovation, is this ability to troubleshoot my network connection. So now that we've relegated users to be connected up via copy shops, at their home network, at a friend's house, or wherever, before they pick up the phone and call IT support, if they're having connectivity issues, we give them a tool to run a diagnostics to ensure the network that they're on has all the requirements to have a successful connection to Windows 365. And this troubleshooter will run and tell them, hey, go reboot your router, everything looks great. And it really does help and make that user feel empowered to be productive and reduces the support costs.
And yesterday and the day before, Satya announced some new offerings for the work that you're doing with Windows 365. Pretty exciting. You want to talk about it?
It's hard not to get excited by all the great innovations that's coming our way here with this new product. So Satya announced yesterday, obviously, the Windows 365 app. We're also bringing Windows 365 to our government clouds, both our government commercial and government commercial high clouds. And we also are announcing a new licensing model for Windows 365 for organizations that have shift workers or first-line workers. It's a shared device license, very cost-effective. And one last very exciting thing is we're going to bring Windows 365 to the MetaQuest VR headsets.
Yeah, it's cool. And other headsets, correct, in the future. Yeah. So it's very cool. All right, I'm pumped. I think Windows 365, Windows 11 integrated, these are solutions that you can take back. When you take boot and switch, very powerful. When I can restore so quickly, incredible. It truly represents unity of the client and cloud, which is well done, Scott. Thank you. Okay, Ramya, coming back to you just for a second, back to Intune. Now, earlier we talked about the evolution of cloud management. Okay, how does that help our customers move forward today?
Here are a few things to move forward, and I'm seeing this resonate with a lot of customers. One, attach to the cloud if you haven't already. Enable endpoint analytics so you can start getting those insights from your Windows devices. 2, upgrade to Windows 11 today. Get all those benefits of productivity and those state-of-the-art security that we just talked about. Windows 11 has 99.7% app compat. And for those rare cases that you have issues with the applications, we have programs such as App Assure, where our engineers will work directly with customers to get their apps working. And last but not the least, Intune will make it really easy to have Windows 10 and 11 side by side in your estate. So don't wait for those hardware refresh cycles, upgrade today.
Yeah, I think that's critical. The side-by-side element is, I know, critical. I hear it from customers every day. But staying security is also so critical, and not just to protect data, intellectual property, and then our privacy, employee privacy, but also because it really does impact the bottom line. And I know a lot of people in this room care about that as much as anything, so we're protecting your budget too. Yeah. Very cool. All right, so with Windows 11, let's get to it. We have best-in-class security from the chip to the cloud. We have intelligent, integrated management that helps IT be more efficient and reduce employee downtime. We have options for getting Windows on beautiful new PCs or super simply with a cloud PC and Windows 365. Not to mention great productivity features, and we're going to talk about all those a little bit next. But before we jump into productivity, I got to say thank you, Scott, Ramya, David. You are not only inspiring, your passion is felt, and you are best in the world at what you do. And thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you to this group. With that, you know, the best, it's kind of, we can talk, and we can always talk, but it's always better to hear it from a customer, just bringing this all together. A customer who's all in on cloud and Windows 11. Check this out from L'Oreal.
L'Oréal wants to be a beauty tech company that will change the future of beauty. We create experiences and services to our consumers, and we want to create the same experience for our employees.
At L'Oréal, selecting Windows 11 was a no-brainer. For us, it's the foundation of everything we deliver. It's what connects the tools and creates that seamless connectivity between them. Our users are expecting more every day. In order to satisfy that, we are providing a full set of features thanks to Windows 11, like Snap Layout, like the new Start menu, the new search features, and of course, the seamless integration with Microsoft Edge. We are focusing always in productivity, collaboration, security, and performance, because today we have users all around the world in different settings. They can be at home, they can be at the office or in a business trip, and we need to deliver a quality experience.
The transition between Windows 10 and Windows 11 was not disruptive, so it's really easy to use and really easy to discover all the features and to manage them, like the way to get the mic or share your screen very easily. I think it's really a positive impact and a positive way to evolve in the way that we are working with all our collaborators.
3 years back, we had one image per country, sometimes one image per zone. Nobody was able to deploy the latest version of Windows in less than 1 year and a half. For us, Windows 11 was the enabler of the next step. Windows 11 gives us the opportunity to use the latest version and the more secure version of Windows. And it's really important for us because at L'Oréal, security is by design.
At L'Oréal, we have more than 85,000 users. We knew that we had to deploy worldwide in different conditions. With Windows 11, we were able to do it in only 4 months. Thanks to Autopilot, thanks to Intune, we can do enrollment out of the office. That is a game changer for us. Windows 11 is having a huge and positive feedback in our employees. We are seeing a high level of adoption. The users are not only taking advantage of the features, they are embracing it.
I love that story. The L'Oreal story is truly inspiring. Windows 11 helped them improve their efficiency and security while still ensuring that best experience. Don't miss that. Don't miss that. Efficiency, security, and an incredible experience. When you bring those together, it moves an organization. It moves L'Oreal's organization through Windows 11. And they did it in just a few months. It was streamlined, simple, and it was easy. And when I met with the L'Oreal team, they weren't only inspiring, and it's just as you would expect. Their products are amazing, and it's the reflection of that technology and the people coming together, and the product comes out. Now, we made Windows to be the gold standard for workplace productivity. And together with Microsoft 365, we help your teams do their best work wherever they are. Core to that experience is none other than Microsoft Teams. Now, I'm so excited to invite my friends, colleagues. We've been through so much together over the last 3 years, both Lon and Joe, key leaders building Microsoft Teams and our productivity apps and all the tools around it. Let's hear about the experience they're building right now for all of us.
Hi, Panos. It's great to join Ignite. And of course, I'm joining on Teams. Yes, I was on the original Teams team. And back then, we were just this little startup team within Microsoft working on a persistent group chat app. In just a few years, Teams has grown to become this essential collaboration tool that hundreds of millions of people counting on to get their work done every day. And we started with just a few of us. Now we have thousands of engineers working across multiple continents. And practically almost every part of Microsoft is building for Teams, making Teams better every day. Teams has become so integral to the way we work with our colleagues. So when we think about existing and new productivity apps, we first think about how they can work within Teams. Now, you've heard us talk about PowerPoint Live, Whiteboard, Microsoft Loop components, and more recently, Excel Live. All great examples of the way we bring value from our existing apps to Teams. In all these cases, I'm working with Joe Belfiore. Now, you all know Joe. Joe now leads our M365 Core Apps team. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Lon. Hi, Panos. And hello to everyone at Ignite. It's kind of perfect that you're catching me here in my home office. Even though Microsoft has moved to hybrid in-person work, my home office is still where I'm getting most of my work done these days, like so many people in all different kinds of jobs around the world. As you said, Lon, I shifted my job role at Microsoft to work on our Microsoft 365 core apps almost 3 years ago. And in that time, everyone's productivity needs have really changed completely. It's been awfully gratifying to spend my time and energy helping to build new tools that support people really being productive, whether they're collaborating together in a real-time hybrid meeting, or whether they're working separately, individually, even across time zones, whether they're in apps they already know and love, or whether they're using some of our brand new experiences. One of those new experiences, which is all about co-creation, is Microsoft Loop, a new application that focuses on the earlier stages of ideation, helping people to think, plan, and create together. And of course, that kind of activity has a deep connection with the communications apps that people use. So we designed Loop to have both a full app form, where there are workspaces that people can collaborate in together, but also to have components, like a task list, that can be used wherever you're communicating right in place. So that means whether you're working in Teams and chatting with each other, or drafting an email in Outlook, or working on a document in Word, or brainstorming in Whiteboard, everyone can always be seeing the same data and collaborating so that they stay on the same page.
Yes. So as Joe mentioned, I find it incredibly useful that in a Teams meeting like the one we're in now, we can bring the Loop components into our chat and continue collaborating in real time, knowing we're working on the latest information as the data shown is always up to date. And meetings become more engaging with Microsoft Presenter Plus, which gives you presentation and participation control to quickly raise your hand and come off mute, or skip to the next slide.
Yeah, all of these tools, Loop, Teams, PowerPoint and Excel Live, and all the rest of our Microsoft 365 apps on Windows really together form a great productivity stack for organizations of all sizes. Everything is designed to work well together, making it really easy for people to stay in sync, build on each other's ideas, and work seamlessly in the context of wherever they are. This means that your teams can spend less time finding things they need and more time focused on coming up with great ideas and really getting things done. And by the way, Panos, thanks for the Microsoft Audio Dock. The pairing of a high-quality speakerphone with more ports is really the home office innovation that I needed to deal with the mess that you all can't see because it's off camera. Thanks.
And thank you everybody who joined us from the digital audience via Teams, and hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Well, thanks, Lon and Joe. And Joe, I love that you love the audio dock. We announced it yesterday. I've been to your office at home. You do need some improvement there, so I'm glad it's helping. I actually love watching Lon and Joe in different places. We're all here. One's at an office, one's at a home office. And it's incredible, right? That is that distributed workforce. Powerful teams like Loop, these are the things ultimately that will help you do your best work. AI is powering experiences across Windows, Intune, management, and productivity. But it doesn't stop there. Joining us here is Stevie Batish. He is our chief scientist. This demo is so you can see how tall I really am, which we can argue is pretty dang tall. At least so I've been told by my mom. All right, Stevie.
It's good to see you, man. Thank you.
It's good to
Thank
see
you for having me here.
All right, Stevie and I haven't rehearsed on purpose because we wanted to give you a raw demo. And now here's what we're going to do. You tell us a little bit about what we're seeing here with Surface Pro 5G, which is what you're showing us, and Windows 11, and then we'll go from there. And we're going to run a little demo for you, and I'm going to need a little bit of help from the crowd just to give you a little energy to get you going by 9 o'clock.
Absolutely. So the Surface Pro 9 with 5G has the most powerful NPU ever built for Windows.
Yeah, slow down.
Amazing.
What's an NPU?
Neural Processing Unit, think of it as a co-processor for artificial intelligence, basically really designed to accelerate neural networks, just like GPUs are for graphics, NPUs are for AI. So we use it to power some amazing effects here in a little tiny body of the Pro 9. So I got automatic framing here that will basically find people in the frame and automatically move the camera around and keep us essentially in frame. So if you go out of frame, it'll zoom me in. If you come back in frame.
Okay, I love it. Now this is important. So when you see what's happening, the camera is now zooming in on Stevie. When I come into frame, you'll see it'll pick me up. This is just AI working, and that auto frame will zoom out a little bit. This is again just to show you the discrepancies. I know I've learned this camera trick.
I'll crowd
yeah,
and then we have eye contact, and we have beautiful background effects that run really high resolution, which are extremely computationally intensive, including the portrait blur.
Right now, I think, remember this, your employees, they want to be seen, they want to be heard, right now, more than ever before, and please understand this, more importantly, they want to be understood. We all do. But right now, it's a critical time. And when people are in their home office and there's bigger meetings or smaller meetings, they want to know they're understood, heard, and seen. When you look at what's happening here with the power of the MPU, there's a reality where not only are you seen and heard, you're also understood. And then I'm going to throw this in. This is like a DSLR camera, and you kind of look good, too. All right, I see you turned on another feature.
You look great. Yeah, absolutely. So some really cool things, concepts I want the audience to understand. The NPU allows the offload from the CPU and GPU. So I have now all features turned on, all the Windows Studio Effects features turned on, and you can note that nothing is touching the CPU and the GPU. I even have a cloud model captioning running at the same time.
So look at the top of the screen, folks, on the white portion of the screen. You can see the closed captioning happening. That's actually AI running on the edge right now.
Amazing.
That Stevie is running. So we're capturing all these effects.
Right.
By the way, I don't know if you heard it, there's no tax on the CPU, there's no tax on the GPU. So you're seen, you're heard, and you're understood, but you're also getting anything you want done, including, like for me later at like 12:47, I'm going to be watching the Mariners game and on the call at the same time. Don't tell anyone. And it's not going to tax my system, so I can still get my work done, assuming the game's going the right way.
So local offload and now cloud offload all in one machine. Pretty amazing.
Pretty crazy.
And it allows us to run really complex algos.
Let's get to your last demo.
Perfect.
And this is the one that I got challenged on yesterday. So yesterday we did an audio demo.
Right.
In the launch event. I don't know if you watched it, but if you haven't seen it, there's a little bit of humor in there. It wasn't meant to be humorous, but it turned out to be. There's a leaf blower in the background. How many of you have been in meetings where your dogs were barking or there was a damn leaf blower or whatever it was, and you're like, oh my gosh, please, I'm on with my boss. Does that happen? That happened to me. I'm always like, please, somebody take the dogs outside. I don't know. I don't think Satya can hear me. And so it's happening over and over again. We showed a demo yesterday where the leaf blower got muted out, where we were able to do voice focus in the right way. Stevie's going to show you that voice focus app, but Stevie, before you demo it, I've got a little trick for you.
Okay.
Because yesterday I was challenged and said it was all special effects. So here we are live, Surface Pro 5G. We're going to have a little bit of fun, and it won't be special effects. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you all know Bob Bajan. Give me a round of applause for Bob. Bob, come on out. Okay. So Bob is a dear friend only because we have tortured each other through the years on creating and producing events. I bring the products and he tries to make them look beautiful, and he does a pretty dang good job. He is the producer of this show. He also happens to be an incredibly talented musician. Why is there a guitar on stage? Stevie's probably thinking, why is there a guitar here? Because we're going to play it. So Stevie, here's my ask. We're going to have Bob play the guitar as loud as you can.
I'm going to record him.
I want you to go show this demo so we can get a sense of it, and I want you all just kind of see that impact of the product itself.
I'm recording right now, and voice focus is turned off. Oh, you sound amazing. There you go, buddy. Now I'm going to turn voice focus on.
Okay, keep talking.
And that's pretty amazing.
So right now voice focus is on?
Correct.
So in theory, they can't hear the guitar.
Correct. Now I'm going to turn it back on. They can hear the guitar again.
Okay, so now you turn it back off. Don't stop, Bob. I want to test this system.
Perfect. We're good. We're good. Perfect.
You got it?
Good. You good.
All right, let's pause.
All right, let's play it back.
So Stevie was just doing, all those features were on. He's on a call, and he turned voice focus on. Let's listen.
All right. Recording right now, and voice focus is turned. So this is off, hearing everything. Oh, you sound amazing. There you go, buddy. Now I'm going to turn voice focus on.
Okay, keep talking.
And that's pretty amazing. You are...
So now voice focus is on.
Correct.
So in theory, you can't hear the guitar.
Correct. Now I'm going to turn it back on. They can hear the guitar again.
Turn it back off. Okay, don't stop, Bob. We're going to now try something else.
We're good. We're good.
Stevie, we're going to break this demo. We are going to break the demo, folks. That's our plan. It's going to be embarrassing. People are like, Panos, please don't break demos. I do it all the time, and I get in trouble. And since it's not a demo, and it's running code, and that's the actual 5G product that you can go get pre-order right now, okay, remember, it's a voice focus. So it will keep your voice, but the algorithm, or ultimately the learning coming off the edge and onto the machine, is eliminating everything else. It's early. Some of you look tired. I got it. Long night maybe, I'm not sure, or an early morning. Here's what we're going to do. Without using your voice, because if that made any sense, it will show up. Make as much noise as you can. Clap, stomp your feet, hit the table. Stevie, you start recording.
We have never done this before. You're making me nervous. There's a lot of people here. I'm being really honest.
Hey, what's the worst case? What's the worst case?
And we're 4 minutes over. So
what's the worst case? Make some noise. Go, go, go. No screaming. Just clap. No yelling.
Okay, I am now recording.
No yelling. No voice.
With voice focus off. And now I'm going to turn voice focus now. And now voice focus is basically turned on. And there's a shit ton of noise behind me. I'm going to turn voice focus back on. Off, I mean. And there you go.
It's like that was like the closest to being in a rock
Okay, that was pretty loud.
I've ever that was
Let's
pretty
see.
bad. Even
Let's
if it
hear
didn't work, that was pretty cool. I just got to tell you, good job. All right, Stevie, let's see.
Let's hear it. I'm
See what happens.
crossing fingers.
Okay, I am now recording with voice focus off. Now I'm going to turn voice focus now. And now voice focus is basically turned on.
It works.
And there's a sick kind of noise behind me. I'm going to turn voice focus back on. Off now. And there you go.
All right.
Amazing. All right, very cool, Stevie. It works.
Well done. Thank you.
Everybody, Stevie Batiste, Chief
Way to go,
Scientist,
brother.
Microsoft.
Thank you.
All right, Stevie, I mean, there it is, showing you the power of AI and the cloud. And remember, with that happening on the edge, there's no tax. We want the people working on the things that matter most to be as productive as they can. Now, as you heard from the team, we are excited about all the new capabilities available right now. Windows 11 will make a real difference in the way each of us runs our organizations. And here, just take this away. It will improve your TCO. It will. Windows, Intune, Microsoft 365 are all there to make you more secure and improve your IT efficiency, all while providing the most inclusive, and don't forget how important that is, productivity and collaborative experiences for our employees, for your employees. Okay, so if you take one thing away, just one thing, you don't have to wait to get all these features and move to Windows 11. It's ready for you, it's ready for your business now, right now. I love using customers as an example. Let's take Accenture. In April, we shared they were accelerating their Windows 11 deployment, and they had, I think, deployed about 25,000 devices. We had announced our commercial features in June, which are all here now. And it's so easy to deploy that now Accenture has deployed Windows 11 to over 450,000 devices in just a few months. Think about that. We have this amazing set of devices from Surface, you saw a few of them here, and our OEM partners, HP, Dell, Lenovo. I mean, incredible products right now. So if you're on your journey to update your hardware, and you're on the journey to improve your security, you can do that. And maybe most importantly, you can run, and you heard this earlier from Ramya, you can run Windows 10 and Windows 11 side by side in Intune with full app compatibility and process consistency. And on top of that, like you heard from Scott, you can stream the full Windows experience in the cloud. On any device, on any planet. I just happen to be on this one with Windows 365. Or you can do it, deliver as a virtual desktop with AVD. And it turns out we're kind of all in the right place right here at Ignite today, where we have sessions and discussions across Surface and Windows workshops to help you chart your path for your company. Thank you. Thank you all around the world for being here, spending time with me, with the team, with the product makers, with Lon, Joe, and Stevie. We truly hope you enjoy the rest of this magical Ignite experience. Thanks again.